Hi everyone and welcome. We are broadcasting live from GlobalAIPreneurs, the premier global gateway and unified operating system for trusted AI enterprises. Right now, we are witnessing an unprecedented paradigm shift that AI landscape is expanding exponentially, stretching across 8 plus categories and over 120 distinct technologies. Yet this explosion has brought an unintended bottleneck. Enterprise buyers are facing severe decision paralysis. Investors are swimming in unvetted noise, and brilliant founders remain isolated from the cross border institutional bridges they need to scale. The results are clear: capital inefficiency and deployment friction. Promoted by the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade and the Global Council for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Global AIpreneurs is much more than a directory. It is the global ecosystem that connects AI founders, enterprises, investors, researchers, policymakers, and technology leaders through verified enterprise, cross border collaboration, and strategic partnership. With active hubs across India, Singapore, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the USA, the UK, Switzerland, the EU, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, and Nigeria, we are accelerating the global adoption for trusted AI solutions. Today, as part of our visionary interview series, we are charting the future of this ecosystem. Joining us is a leader who embodies exactly what it means to build with high intent, high density, and absolute impact. Dr. Sudin Baraokar, thank you for joining us today to help shape the future of global AIpreneurs. Dr. Sudin Baraokar is a globally recognized AI quantum architect, enterprise AI strategist, and digital transformation advisor with over 3 decades of experience in banking, financial services, and emerging technologies. He has held leadership roles at SBI, Barclays, IBM, and GE, leading enterprise scale innovations in generative AI, quantum computing, AI engineering, cloud, RAG, machine learning, and AI governance. Beyond enterprise leadership, Dr. Sudhin is passionate about developing future innovators. He has trained over 1 million professionals, conducted 1,000 plus technology workshops, mentored 1,000 plus startups and MSCs, and continues to advise entrepreneurs, governments, and academic institutions on AI strategy, responsible innovation, and digital transformation. Thank you, Sudhin, for joining us today. Over to you.
Thank you for hosting me. A very warm welcome to all of you all. I'll be talking about the great tsunami of AI and quantum and deep tech, starting with the transformation that is taking place. And this is where the enterprises want to use AI for their mission critical scale, for their mission critical systems, for their mission critical platforms, right? Use the AI for tracking the system of record, the trust framework, the commercialization pitfalls, and leverage all these technologies. During my work in very large banks like State Bank of India, we have the most advanced core banking system in the world, benchmarked at 24,000 transactions per second, 1.5 billion transactions in a day, covering more than 500 million customers and 700 million accounts. So this scale is very critical. And this is a very hunting good ground for AI, because the more data richness you have, the better AI you get. Okay, so here, for example, its banks are very mission critical. In fact, all organizations all across are now mission critical. And it's very important to use AI for these mission critical systems. We can also look at how to use AI for a big system of record. As I mentioned, 1.5 billion records are getting generated daily. And this is just one big bank, right? Imagine so many organizations across so many verticals. The kind of records that are being generated are a perfect hunting ground for your data science, for AI, for quantum, for your data pipelines, for machine learning, for your different sandboxes, for your different AI models, your LLMs, your SLMs. So that's where we can now start using AI for the enterprise so that we can get the maximum benefit piece of it. And what's really moving at scale is the move from isolated pilots. It started mostly as, generating some videos or summarizing some text. But now it's going on into the enterprise applications. For example, global banks, we have more than 400 global apps. Manufacturing conglomerates have got more than 800 global apps worldwide. This is where you can start now doing your moving away from pilots and embedding AI, doing your AI first, AI native strategy, and then transforming your entire application landscape. In terms of a lot of questions are asked about the trustworthiness of AI, and this is a space which is called ethical and responsible AI. From my experience, I feel that all this future tech and especially AI and quantum is driving better governance, risk, and compliance, because we are now becoming more data driven, more data science we are using, more systems of record we are processing. We have more data richness, wherein right from day zero, we can build up these trustworthy systems right from day zero. In your prompt, if you just type in any prompt, any LLM prompt, if you just type in explain the model using SHAP and line. SHAP is your Shapley additive explainability. Your prompt, your LLM will give you the entire explainability about your model, how trustworthy it is, what are the compliance, what are the governance, what are the regulations that it's aligning to. So this is a fantastic way of using AI right from day zero to build your ethical and responsible AI. From a startup perspective, what are the, where does deep tech really come in? I have been building this deep tech solutions using the latest and greatest of technologies. We call it, vibe coding tools, or we also call it low code, no code tools. The important part about is that as a startup, as an AI startup, you must build your model, your basic model, your level 1 model must be built in the first week itself. I've seen startups which are, just building a whole lot of PPTs and a whole lot of videos. And for years, they struggle out because they don't have a model. They don't have any AI. They claim that, they have got AI, but they don't have any AI. And that's where building these models in an accelerated way, right, will help you, get your solution out quickly, will get you more model driven, will get you the AI element right from day zero, will get you the entire Gen AI stack to work. That's your LLM, SLM, RAG, data pipelines, machine learning, data science, your sandboxes, your models, all that will be there available from, day zero. And then finally, we are looking at, the quantum AI. And this is very, very important. So, and I've already implemented these quantum AI models into the industry. And that is a first. And what happens is that we use the Gen AI for the data science and reasoning. And then for the deep dive, then I use the quantum for the deep dive, right? Think of quantum as what we learned in STEM in school and college, right? Our signal waves, right? The wave has a coherence, fidelity. It has a phase, frequency, amplitude. So this is where for a deep dive, you merge the quantum with the AI, and that's where you can get deep tech systems. You can then also combine it with the agentic AI, with the MCP protocol, so that right from day zero, you're talking to your data. The agents are now talking to other agents. You can have your planning agents, memory agents, scheduler agents, and all that great stuff that we're doing. And then the important part is the ecosystems, right? The one good thing about AI and with the data pipeline stack is we can connect to all the worlds. We can connect to regulators, we can connect to authorities, we can connect to our business partners, to our customers, to our potential ecosystem networks, right? That's great, because the more you connect, the more data you process, the more models, the more deep dive models you build, is going to accelerate your entire development, testing, and deployment, And this is very good because this is the best way that you can now use your AI, your quantum, your deep tech, your entire stack, Gen AI stack, and then build your next generation of worlds, which I believe are going to be automated, autonomic, agentic, and self-audited.
Yeah, thank you, Thank you, Sudin, for sharing such insightful presentation with the global AIpreneurs community. So your extensive experience across enterprise AI and digital transformation and everything like emerging technologies has provided our audience with valuable insights. So now I'd like to ask you a few questions to explore your experience and perspectives further. Shall we start our interview now?
Yeah, just give me a couple of seconds and we can start. Just give me just a second out here.
Sure.
So was that enough for the presentation, or
Sorry?
was that enough for the presentation?
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, just let me exit my full screen.
Yeah, it's done. It's exit. Full
No,
screen.
I think I stopped sharing my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I just want to open up something, just a few notes I built up, which I can't find now. Just give me a second. Just be on track again. Yeah, we can start now. Yeah.
So I'd like to ask a few questions to explore your experience and perspectives further. So my first question, throughout your career here at organizations such as SBI, Barclays, IBM, and GE, you have led some of the world's largest digital transformation initiatives. As enterprises transition from digital transformation to AI native organizations, what strategic mindset should business leaders adopt to successfully integrate generative AI, agentic AI, and autonomous systems into their core business operations?
No, that's a great question. I think proud to say that wherever in all the organizations, right from General Electric, where I built the digital cockpit way back in 2002, and then moving on to IBM, where I was also part of the IBM Watson AI, and then moving on to Barclays, where I built the global innovation platform in Pune, in India. And then moving on to SBI, where the entire core banking transformation was transformed. And then we also built the YONO app, which is the world's first autonomic lending app, digital lending app. So all these great transformations have taken place because of the leadership, because of the continuous stress and focus and importance on why we require to transform, why we require to invest in future tech. And the great success is that all our investments have been put to great work and all works, right? Look at the size of it. Our, the YONO app has got more than 100 million, users. Our core banking systems have got more than 500 million customers. Barclays is, pioneered the mobile payment banking way back in 2011. So all this is because of the need for the entire organization to become future tech ready, to take the risk. The biggest risk is not using future tech, right? That is the biggest risk. So it is very important to inculcate this culture of transformation. So typically how we do it is we run the organization, that is we run all the mission critical systems. And then on the change side, we sunrise all this emerging tech, emerging models, emerging use cases, and then sync it up with our run the organization, and then bring in the maximum benefit to our users and customers.
Yes. Thank you for sharing those practical insights. Building on that, let's look how organizations can prepare the next generation of AI. My next question, in your presentation, you spoke about quantum AI fusions, cognitive operation systems, and agentic ecosystem. So, which of these emerging technologies do you believe will create the greatest business impact over the next 3 to 5 years? And how should enterprise begin preparing today?
So AI, we have done very well. We have done very well on the Gen AI side, on the LLM side. Now we are going to start building the SLM specific for the use cases, specific for the industries, the small language models. Quantum comes in a very deep way. Suppose you want to have a deep dive, you just as you use attention for your LLMs, quantum you are now using signaling, and the entire world is signals. Just imagine if we can capture the 1.5 billion records emanating from our core banking, and each one is a signal for our MSME priority lending, or for our entrepreneur lending, or for our financial inclusion programs. So this kind of these kind of stacks will have to work together, right? Across the business, the data, the applications, and the technology. And with this synchronization, you'll be able to, orchestrate, build up a kind of a neural OS, build up a next generation autonomic system. We've already seen that in cars and a few other, systems. So here we will have the entire applications also going autonomic. So that's a big, difference previously how we have built it to now how we are looking at the next gen automated autonomic agentic platforms.
Yes. That's a fascinating vision of where enterprise AI is heading. Along with the opportunity comes the challenge of execution. So, in your presentation, you have highlighted several common commercialization mistakes, including solving wrapper problems, overlooking enterprise compliance, and underestimating mission critical requirements. In your experience mentoring startups, what separates deep tech AI companies that successfully scale globally from those that struggle despite having strong technology?
No, I think it's a big shift. It's a transformational shift, right? Previously, we have been building, the typical legacy model or the water cycle model or waterfall model, the software SDLC cycle. Yes, then we did move on to agile, and then we went on to SaaS, right? Which is great, but imagine, I mean, we have written, in large organizations particularly, and even startups, some of them, we have written so much of code, right? We don't even know where the code is. We don't even know how to manage the code repositories. We don't even know how to reuse the code. And now we have shifted to models, right? Everything is you build up these models, right? They're all available, right? As LLMs, you can use the best of LLM reasoning and per that LLM, whichever is good for your scientific reasoning or for your technology reasoning, use that. And then you start with that model from day zero, right? So the advantage is that your entire application use cases, your architecture, your workflow, your development is already ready from day zero, right? That's a big difference because you will otherwise have the complexity of having so much code. You have to manage the code, then you will have a very large developer team, right? I have myself built the largest AI deep tech team in the world. It's very, very large. It compromises of me, myself, Sudin, and AI. Right? So right from the architecture to system design to development to testing to serving the model to serving the application to putting in the feedback loop to building the neural OS, all is nowadays a one army job or maximum 2 or 3 army job.
Yes.
Right. So this is where you, as either as startups or even if you are either as an entrepreneur or even if you're an intrapreneur in a organization, big or small, you must inculcate this DIY culture, right? Do it yourself. The biggest advantage is that by coding myself, by building the models myself, I am in control of that model. There is no external dependency, right? I can reduce the costs by big margin. I can control my application. I can keep updating it, right? So this is how the transformation is happening in today's world.
Yes. That's exactly where AI is heading. So those are valuable lessons for every AI founders looking ahead, like to explore the technology shaping the future. So moving to my next question, having mentioned more than 1,000 startups and advised global enterprises, you have seen innovation from both sides. What are the most common mistakes AI startups make when commercializing deep tech solutions? And what advice would you offer founders looking to build enterprise ready AI products that can scale globally?
I think it's a great question because nowadays you know what organizations are looking for, what clients and customers are looking for is deep tech, right? They don't have, we have got A to Z of all solutions otherwise in the enterprise, right? We don't need further solutions, right? So what they want is this automation. They want the agentic AI. They want the, Gen AI. They want the models. They want the quantum, right? So it's very important for the startups and for the entrepreneurs to look at, first of all, what segment they are, what industry they are targeting. For example, if they're targeting a banking, then they must be very, very well conversant with the regulations, right? With the reg tech, as we call it, with the governance, risk and compliance, with the different standards. Like for payments, we use PCI DSS, and PSD2. So all this should be, the context must be known to that particular entrepreneur. If they don't get the context, right, then it's going to be very difficult for even the bank to buy that particular product, right? Second is the important part is that how are you changing? How are you changing from a SaaS world to a AI native, AI first world, right? Because all these organizations want to transform. So they will be very much focused on what AI elements and components you're bringing to the table. And if you don't do that, then nobody is going to, there is no market now left for your product, right? So these basic aspects must be baked in for any entrepreneur to be successful.
That's some very insightful things that you have mentioned for the startups or entrepreneurs, which they can look forward. So moving to my next question, you have architected enterprise scale AI system across banking, financial services, healthcare, manufacturing, and government. Based on your experience, what practical framework would you recommend for organizations looking into build trustworthy, scalable, and complement AI systems while balancing innovation, governance, or long-term business values?
That's a great question. So one of the greatest advantages of AI is with the data pipelines and with the context engine running, you're able to connect to the different regulations from day zero, right? For example, I have worked on a healthcare AI where I have built up a kind of a haptic device for neuro degenerative kind of ailments for patients, wherein I could quickly connect to the haptic technology which could assist Alzheimer or Parkinson kind of patient. And this is right from day zero. And the best part is that every time we see that, okay, we need to, build all these new regulations, we will require approvals. Some of these regulations in the healthcare industry are already pre-approved by the FDA and by the other global regulators from Europe and Asia, right? So here, if you can reduce the least amount of time on the regulations, that is number one, that's important. And at the same time, from day zero, comply with all the regulations, just at the click of a button. I have built up this regulatory compliance in a few hours using the data pipeline and the Gen AI technology, the LLM and SLM, and it works perfectly well, right? I've done it across healthcare, banking, manufacturing, and a few other verticals. So, bringing in this trustworthiness where you can explain the model, as I told you with as I told you as I explained earlier with SHAP and line, LIME. It's really accelerates your development, right? And you are compliant. You're in compliance. You can also explain the algorithms that you have used for your regulatory perspective, for your governance, risk, and compliance. That's already also baked in. For example, in China, and this was some years back, the authorities and regulators asked some of the fintech startups to expose their algo and model because they wanted to check and verify that this fintech, which is claiming to do financial inclusion as per the government's mandate, is actually doing that. Right now, if from day zero or day one you bake this in, this is clearly outstanding because you can also give that model and explainability to the regulators and authorities right from day zero. Right. So this is how it really helps.
Yeah. Thank you, Santosh. Those are extremely valuable insights. Your practical framework clearly demonstrates that
Sudin.
successful enterprise AI is built not only for advanced technology.
Yeah.
So moving to my next question. So you have worked spans AI engineering, quantum computing, and ML, machine learning, synthetic data, cybersecurity,
Yeah.
cloud platforms, and autonomous systems. Looking ahead over the next 3 to 5 years, which emerging technologies do you believe will have the greatest impact on the enterprise innovation? And how should organizations prepare for this next wave of AI-driven transformation?
So I think, on the AI side, it's going to be this AI, the cognitive piece of it, where the entire neural OS is going to be built and implemented. I've already built one for a automaker from automotive, perspective, wherein your entire, where the entire, car has become a neural OS. So right from your battery management to your ADAS, to your powertrain, to your V2X communication, your vehicle to everything communication, to your telemetry, to your HUD, your head-up display, to your OBD onboard diagnostics. All this is now a OS, right? So that's from the AI side. Now from the quantum side, if everything becomes a signal and you process that signal, and you will be software ready, on the quantum side now, then 2030 plus, when the when the quantum chips come in on the hardware side, then you will have a big advantage. When you merge your quantum with your AI, you will have a big advantage because quantum is going to give you 1000x kind of a insight and deep dive, right? And a productivity benefit, right? Yes. So this is where you need to prepare right now for these cognitive worlds, and combine your AI and quantum. Get ready for the next generation of chip technology, which is going to be just awesome, and it's going to. Already it's awesome. The latest NVIDIA Blackwell processor has already got something like 200 billion transistors on a single chip, right? 200 billion transistors on a single chip. They call it accelerated computing. So same way, everything is going to get accelerated on the cognitive side, on the AI side, on the quantum side, on the neural OS side. And that is going to be just fantastic. Sometimes the question is, okay, what happens to my job? I would say that there are 100x opportunities in building all these systems compared to our annuity IT jobs.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those fascinating vision for the future. It's clear that organizations need to begin preparing not only in emerging technologies but also in the skills and infrastructure and leadership required. So before we conclude, my last question, where Global AIpreneurs aims to become one of the world's leading ecosystems connecting AI founders, enterprises, investors, governments, researchers, and policymakers. Based on your experience building enterprise AI platforms and advising organizations worldwide, how can initiatives like Global AIpreneurs or startups accelerate trusted AI adoption, global collaboration, and commercialization? We'd also like to hear how can partner with the contribute the global AIpreneurs ecosystem.
So this, mentoring aspect is very, very important. The success aspect is important. Sharing the lessons learned, sharing the successes, sharing the transformation programs that are done. Right, conducting workshops, keep training. Just as and you're living in a world where, just like your chat GPT, right? Your GPT stands for your generative pre-trained transformer model. So everything is pre-trained, right? So you have to go into these worlds, into today's worlds, where you have to pre-train your mind. Nobody's going to wait for you to explain to them. You're not going to go to an automaker and ask them how does a V2X work, or how does a ADAS work. No, they expect you
Yeah.
to pre-train your mind to bring in the AI, the transformation, the quantum, and successfully implement it. Right? So this kind of pre-training has to be done. Otherwise, the entire younglings, the entire generation would, in my words, lose out on one of the greatest opportunities in civilization. Right?
Yes.
And just from an India context, we are already the IT services capital of the world. But with the kind of talent we have, with the kind of mentors we have, with the kind of experts we have, we can easily become the AI, quantum, and deep tech capital of the world.
Yes. Thank you, Sudin, for sharing your extraordinary expertise and your experience and practical insights with the global AIpreneurs community. Your journey from leading innovation at some of the world's most respected organizations to mentoring startups and shaping the future of enterprise AI demonstrates how technology, when combined with visionary leadership and responsible innovation, can create lasting global impact. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you for hosting me, and would love to be a part of your global AIpreneurs ecosystem, and look forward to such future collaborations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. So, to everyone joining us from around the world, thank you for being part of today's session. The future of artificial intelligence will be shaped not only by technological breakthroughs, but also by international collaboration, responsible governance, and shared innovation. So, if you are an AI founder, innovator, investor, or enterprise leader looking to become part of this growing global ecosystem, we invite to join us at Global AIpreneurs. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep innovative, keep collaborating, and together let's build a trusted global AIpreneurs. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great day, Sunil.